Yes, sir. Now, today, we're going to be talking about Tommy Ford. Now, Tommy Ford was a part of a lot of our childhoods as one of the stars on the hit TV sitcom Martin. Now, as we all know, there's a direct correlation to these people's deaths and the work that they're best known for. So it's very interesting that Tommy Ford equals 114 in the English language in reverse, and Tommy Ford passed away 1,014 weeks after the last episode of Martin. So it's a direct correlation for what you're best known for in Hollywood. This is how they kill you off. Now, let's continue. Now, let's dive into the mockery of Tommy Ford, who's the Martin star. See, they point out to you in the headlines that he was most known for Martin. They do that for a reason. They want you to know that it's because of the Martin show is why he had to be sacrificed. Now, they say Tommy Ford, the Martin star, dies at 52. When Tommy Ford happens to equal 42, Martin equals 42. As we all know, the N-word, slavery equals 42. But you know the other things that we already know. You know, Martin equaling 42. He lived in apartment 42. Even the other character, Shanae, that he played as well, also equals 42. Even his character that was a part of the Martin show, Tommy Strong, equals 181, which is the 42nd prime number. So that 42 was all around that TV show. It was nothing but mockery all in that TV show. Now, once again, that character is the reason behind his demise. So, of course, Tommy Strong equals 46 and 62, just like sacrifice. More importantly, the number 46, because he passed away 46 weeks before his next upcoming birthday from an aneurysm, when aneurysm equals 46. Now, once again, that character, Tommy Strong, this is what it's all surrounded around. If he had never played that character, he'd still be here. Now, Tommy Strong and aneurysm had the same numerology, that 116 and that 46. Now, how they put it, right, according to TMZ, it says that Tommy had been hospitalized and on life support after suffering a ruptured aneurysm. So if we take that whole thing, right, even if we take that whole thing, ruptured aneurysm, it happens to equal 193, just like the span of Tommy Ford's life was 19,030 days, removing the zeros. What do we get? 193. Now, even if we take rupture aneurysm and we take it down to the prime number, it's very interesting because we get the 52nd prime number, as Tommy Ford died at the age of 52. He also passed away 5 weeks and 2 days after his birthday. Just like, once again, how he died at that age of 52. Murder by numbers, man. He also passed away 1 month and 7 days after his birthday. Or if we just take the days, we get 37 days. Just like how he died in Georgia, which equals 37. He was a comedian, which equals 37. And he died on the day of Wednesday, which equals 37. So we get killed comedian. And that's exactly what they did. They killed him off. Now, most importantly, right, that kill and that comedian, right? Because Tommy was even born in the year 64, just like Kill and comedian. But now let's focus on that word kill, right? Because Kill is also synchronized with the star of the Martin Show, Martin Fitzgerald Lawrence. Now, Martin Fitzgerald Lawrence happens to also synchronize with Kill with 264 and 64. Just like how Tommy died 26 weeks and 4 days before Martin's birthday, or 6 months and 4 days before Martin Lawrence, the clone Martin Lawrence birthday, right? Just like 264 and 64 with Martin Fitzgerald Lawrence, his full name. It's all circulated around these people, and this is who these sacrifices are for. This stuff still has to occur. Blood still has to be shed, right? For these things, right? For the success of these projects. You see what I'm saying? These TV shows, these movie franchises. People have to perish, bro. That's the game. That's the evil game that they playing, bro. Now, Martin Lawrence's birthday was also on the 187th day of Tommy Ford's death, when we know 187 is the code by law to identify murder. 187 is also synchronized up with the Society of Jesus, right? This is who we know, the group of people that are synchronizing all these things in Hollywood. They run Hollywood. So this is why it's so much mockery, right? Because they understand the Gematria. They utilize it. Want to know how I know? Because pay attention to this high school basketball team. You might notice that this is actually the Jesuit high school basketball team. As you can see, the same logo that I just showed you, right? The same exact logo. So it's interesting that he played, the only black kid that's on the team happens to be wearing that number 42. So they understand this information, bro. They understand this knowledge, right? And this is why they put it in the Martin Show, with Martin equaling 42 and him living in apartment 42. Tommy Ford equaling 42 as well. And peep how Tommy Ford in this picture where they're posing for the cover of the show, peep how Tommy Ford is the one that's wearing black and red, symbolizing the blood sacrifice. Now I see Cole as well in the black and red too, so see what I'm saying? But come on, right? Focusing on that number 42, right? Because it's very interesting that even the first episode of Martin aired on August 27th, which is the 240th day of the year, that 24, the reflection of 42. Now, what's so crazy about that number 240 is Tommy Ford actually died 24 years after the very first episode of Martin, when his name, Thomas Michael Ford, equals 240. When the first episode was launched on the 240th day of the year. So like I said, man, it was all, and once again, man, signifying he was gonna be that blood sacrifice, man. It was all in the beginning, man. It was already being foreshadowed, man. It was already in the works. Come on, man. Right? Even Thomas Michael Ford synchronizes right up with Martin Lawrence, right? The anagram of 156, 66, and 87. So this is who the ritual was for, Martin Lawrence, the star of the show. Because we know at the time, after the Martin Lawrence show, the Martin Show is what brought Martin Lawrence to stardom. He was a household name after this show. So things had to occur from that show. Somebody had to pass away from that show. Same thing with Moesha. Moesha, the Moesha show is what made Moesha a household name. So somebody, man, about 4-5 people, about 5-6. Kobe was in the Moesha show. Bernie Mac was in the Moesha show. Hakeem died from there. Aunt Dell died from there. So now you see what really happened, what's really going on behind closed doors. Why these things is occurring the way that they occurring. Now, the last episode of Martin, which was May 1st. May 1st was on the 121st day of the year, when blood sacrifice equals 121. Even the day that Tommy died on, the 12th of October, 12/10, in other words, 121, just like blood sacrifice, 121. Remember that song? Remember that Drake song was Sacrifice? I wrote this shit on January 21, 121, the song Sacrifice. So they telling you, man, all the numbers, man, they using the same numbers, bro. They utilizing and recycling the same numbers for these rituals, man. Come on. Right? Because if we actually look at the last episode of Martin, Tommy was even seen wearing the all red. And he met a lot of stars that was in the show previously. They decided to come, the last episode, and to say goodbye, to Martin. The whole, if we were revolving around the episode, the last episode, Martin was moving to California, right? Showing you that he was moving on after the show. It was symbolic. They all about to move out. Remember Will Smith? They all about to move out, and they about to go to a better place after the show. So Martin in the show went to California, as that's exactly what he did after the actual show was over with. That's where he went. He went to Hollywood. He went to stardom. And he left these people behind. He left Tommy behind. And this is why Tommy passed away years later. Now, Lisa Leslie is seen giving Thomas the Masonic handshake, but Pete, they're also wearing duality. He's wearing the red, she's wearing the blue. So even in the last show, man, they was telling you that Tommy Ford was going to be the blood sacrifice of the show. He was wearing the all red in the last episode. He even met, everybody just came to talk to him. All the celebrities came to talk to Tommy. They had a one-on-one conversation with him. It was like they was all telling him goodbye. Right? Even Tommy Hitman Hearns, you know that episode. Tommy Hitman Hearns. Everybody was saying their goodbyes to Tommy. When whole time this was supposed to be about Martin. It was supposed to be about Martin moving on to his next stage in life. But they made sure that the celebrities actually had a conversation with Tommy. This was all telling right there. Right? But come on. Because even if we fast forward to the reunion, where Tommy is the only one that's not in attendance, they continue color coding, right? Giving you the black, red, and the white. Most importantly, the black and red for the blood sacrifice of Tommy Ford. All four of the cast members even say in unison, "This one's for you, Tommy." And they wasn't lying. It really was for Tommy. Because if we look at the day that the reunion was scheduled to air on TV, it aired on June 16th. Right? 6 plus 16 equals 22, just like Tommy. So they wasn't lying when they said this one's for you, Tommy, because it was, right? Because even the day that the reunion came out was on Tommy date numerology, right? He even died on Tommy date numerology as well. October 12th, 10 plus 12 equals 22, just like Tommy. But with that being said, man, I can conclude, man, that Tommy Ford was indeed a blood sacrifice for the Martin TV show, for Martin Lawrence, the clone, the evil clone, to continue in Hollywood, because they done been replaced, dude. It's really no thing I can do with Martin Lawrence, no Gematria, because he didn't get in like a car accident. You see what I'm saying? There was no specific day that something life changing happened to where I could say, okay, that was the okay, he's a clone. We could only just look up pictures and see the difference, right? But I mean, that's really all you need to do, really, is just look at the difference. Like it's a clear difference between the two. But with that being said, man, that's all we got for this video, man. Appreciate y'all for all the love. Appreciate y'all for all the support. And I'm out.